What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is safe and well. Coming to you live from Atlanta. This is Local Musicians XP, and I am flying solo. Well, not really solo. I got some backup. Always got some backup, but we're doing an impromptu stream here. Figured everybody's in the house and had some things on my mind. I want that up some people that I wanted to talk to, and I wanted to get some drum love in the house, man. So we got some drum some drum stuff coming tonight, and I could think of no better person than who I'm about to bring on in a second. But let's get some housekeeping out of the way, and if you guys are on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, set your notification bell, and you'll know when we go live. Hopefully going to be doing a lot more shows this year, and got some new ideas that I want to try out. So set your notification bell, and I got a new channel that I think I'm about to embark on, so I'll let y'all know more about that when that gets going. And that's going to be all drum centric. We're only going to deal with drums. So looking forward to that. But this show with myself and my trusty partner, Tyrone Jackson, will still be in full view on Tuesdays. And we will continue to feature all the great artists, not only in Atlanta, but all over the place. So yeah. So we got a few people coming in, and what's going on there, Pod Horser? Good to see you. What's up, Brad? Hope everything is well. Hope you guys are staying safe and staying off the ice, because there is ice everywhere, but I think a lot of it melted. So, but black ice is no joke, so that's still around. Got a lot of stuff that got canceled tonight, and normally I'd be at Tin Roof with the Mike Veal band, and the session at Red Light got canceled. So and here we go he's gonna start just like a Knicks fan, always starting stuff, man, always starting stuff, watching the Hawks lose. So if you're a Hawks fan and you want to come in and you want to fight with the Pod Horser about the Knicks and the Hawks, feel free. Get in the chat. And, y'all get to it. I always love a good sports fight. So, but look, we're going to go ahead and bring my special guest in. I have known this brother since I knew him before he knew me. But I used to go check him out at various spots in Atlanta back in the 90s. And where he literally blew my mind with just, not only his chops, but his musicality. And I think I'm going to ask him about a couple of drum related things, because one time I saw him play, and he was playing so softly that I had to kind of push up, like to kind of hear what and he was doing so many beautiful things, but he was doing it with so much dynamics and just playing and it was like, wow, how is that possible? So we're going to talk to him a little bit about that. We're going to talk to him about his mother, who is an icon, and we're going to talk to him about his relationship with another brother, man, who left us some years ago. One of the greats in the industry, who I met him at a place called Catfish Station. If anybody remembers Catfish Station on Ponce, and he was driving in from Birmingham or something just to play some little gig, man. But he was one of Marcus's students, and we're going to talk about the great John Blackwell um, as well. So, but without further ado, I'm gonna bring in my brother, the great Marcus Williams, man.
What's up?
Oh man, what's up, man?
You, man, you.
Man, I tell you, dude, it's great to see you. We haven't seen each other, man, in a while, and
Yeah,
we were talking just a little bit earlier. The last time I think I saw you, I was cutting some tracks at your studio, which you don't live too far from me, Stowe Mountain, and
yeah,
that's the last time we saw each other. So I said, man, I got to make it a point. I just come over and just bother the cat because we live so close and we don't see each other. It just don't make any sense, man.
right.
But how you doing, man? What's going on with you?
Man, doing a lot of stuff, just look, it's just a grind and you just got to keep pushing, man, one step at a time.
Yeah,
Basically, that's it, doing what you love and loving what you do. And
right,
and you
right,
make you just have to put yourself on a road and stay on that road
right,
without joining, like, your path is your path.
right,
You can't try to jump on somebody else's stuff just cause they hot right now and this is doing you just stay on your road and
right,
and you'll be happier and and live, man. It's that's all it is. It's a joy to do what and a blessing to do what we do. And it's been God he gave me a talent just from him. And I stopped listening to a lot of people, and I never wanted to copy any drummer. And just I wanted to get a concept of the music and the way they were playing. Concept is a big thing that nobody talks about in drumming. Everybody
right,
wants to give these specific licks and
right,
everything, but it's the same as if I give you some cake, I mean some flour, some eggs, and some yeast and some sugar and this and all kind of stuff. It's so many things you can do with that.
man. That's beautiful.
Nobody will do it the same way, and your muffins won't taste like my muffins. Your cake won't taste like my cake, or you can invent a whole different kind of cake that nobody ever does, but you got the ingredients. So making doing stuff, it used to frustrate me. I'm gonna tell you why it frustrated me, because I used to get into this book um, uh, about all of these licks. You just every and I can't read that good, but I'd figure it out, and I go through the whole motion about a half an hour, figuring out what this lick is, and then when I get it, I'll be like, I've been doing this, I've been doing this lick forever
Right.
without knowing I was doing it because it's that's the way I see things. That's the way a lot of people that I've taught that they don't sound just like me. Or, as a matter of fact, I've had them come back to me and say, "Look at this, man! What you showed me in the so and so." I'm like, "I didn't show you that.
Right.
I showed you what you could do. That's coming from you." And I was like, "That is nice." So
Right.
yeah, man, that's it's I'm just loving. Just turned 64 and still doing my thing. Got a single coming out, another single coming out soon. I'm
Hmm.
on a label with Universal Virgin. Is Angel Dove is the company, but they're distributed by them. So I got another single coming out in a few weeks.
Okay.
It's called "Nothing But the Best" with Phil Davis is on it. He's
Hmm.
but you man, I'm just keep on going, man.
Man. I mean, you're an inspiration, man, because there's a couple things in that you know what you just said that I want to get into. One of them is being yourself, which is not always an easy thing to do because you see the accolades that other people are getting by copying certain things or
Right.
repeating, things that have already been done. And I guess on some level, we're all kind of guilty of that. Especially, man, back in the day before social media and YouTube and all this other stuff, you had to go see somebody play. So you would
Right.
go see them play, and then you might hear them do something, and you think, "Whoa, okay." So you have a snapshot of that in your brain, and you try to remember that when you get home, and you try to check it out, and you're not going to necessarily play exactly maybe what they play, but you get a concept, you get an idea of
Right.
what they do, but then it becomes whatever you do, and that whole concept is gone,
Yeah.
lost, because we don't have as many live places that really we can go see cats play, and but just the onslaught of you know tutorials and uh, the videos, and you can
Hmm.
see everybody's figured everybody's stuff out,
Right.
right? And so we've lost what you were talking about earlier, which is, man, I'm playing from what's inside me, man. Now, my question to you is how, because what was your path to sort of getting to that? When did you start playing drums? How old were you when you started playing?
I was 16.
Oh, okay, so you a little bit later than
Yeah,
a lot
I
of cats.
begged for a drum set for 5, 6 years though before I got one. So I begged, but I used to like play air drums and you doing my whole thing with my um, on my foot, making it happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so at on my 16th birthday, my mother said, "I'm taking you to the store and get you this." It was a little bit like one of them Sears Roebucks set, but I love that little orange sparkle little kit, man. But and so I started on that playing. I just was. She would just because she was in, she'd go out and do shows on the weekend and be gone. And when she get home, she don't want to hear no drums or all that stuff. Time I come in the door, she's like, I don't want to hear no drums today. So going back on what you were saying earlier, I learned how to play so soft that she couldn't hear me.
Wow,
And she was my
wow.
alarm when I was getting into it too much. I hear a stomp on the floor because I was in the basement. And I go, oh, I get back soft. And I learned how to do all this stuff soft, never knowing that later on in life it was gonna be really helpful to me. And because all these gigs I've done, like at the Westin and the Ritz Carlton, all these house gigs I had, you have to play, being on your tuxedo and get your stuff
Yeah.
and you playing. I remember one time Jeff Watts came. I was at the Ritz and he was looking at me and he said, "Are those rubber sticks?" He said, "How can you do that? That soft like that and do that stuff?" Yeah, and then I won the quietest drummer around at the NAMM show one year. Won $1,000 snare for the quietest drummer. Had to do the best solo of the quietest. I was like, "That's right up my alley, right here." But it it was cool. I started playing her. She's doing R&B, that soul music. So I started playing all them grooves and James Brown grooves and stuff. But then one of her guitar player, one of them, his name, we call him Stuff. His name is Wardell Wright from Albany, Georgia. Uh, Came back. We were living in Virginia, and um, he had went to see Billy Cobham,
Mm.
and he came back and Billy Cobham and George Duke. And he came back and he just described Billy Cobham like, oh, he had two bass drums and he had all of this stuff and he had this blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? And then so I went and spent my little $4 and got Billy Cobham, George Duke live in Europe. And when
Yeah.
I listened to that, boy, I was like, what? I sitting down like, oh my God, what is going on? I ain't never heard nobody do stuff like that. So
Right.
I was like, So one time I just like, get yourself together, boy. All right, you have to get these single strokes and all of this
I
stuff.
was just I was just going to ask you, was that sort of your gateway into single strokes, into just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, because I mean, he sounded so strong and pop. Like this just got to be single strokes. Because doubles, you ain't gonna make them times sound like this thunder that was coming out.
mhm,
All of what he
mhm,
was doing, I was like, oh my God. So I picked up a few little things he was doing, but then I picked up the concept of how he was approaching the music and soloing and stuff. And I used to play along with some of the solos as much as I could. And then I stopped listening to it. And I just go and just start doing stuff and playing just by myself and with grooves in my head like that and doing licks and then I started changing them up. And I was saying, wow, if I could do that, I could do this. And if I could do this. And he had two bass drums. I didn't. So I tried my best to do with one bass drum what he was doing with two. So that's when my foot started getting fast and stuff. And the other person I went and saw Lenny White. And Lenny White did
mhm.
this drum solo and he I was like, this is crazy. I couldn't wait to get home to just work my foot to the death. And so I started putting all of this stuff together and not listening to how he's doing. I could play some of the stuff that he was doing, play along with the record. I would play it, but when the solo stuff came and other stuff, I yeah, I took over. And
Right.
it's like nobody sat me there and said, "Oh, you," or he sat me down and like, "This is the way I do this, and this is the way I do this, and then you practice this and just get it like this." I was like, I said, if you could do that, then I could do this, and then if I could do well, if I doing this, I can do this, and blah blah. And I started just morphing into this little stuff that I've been doing for years that was freaking me out. But I was so happy. This is great.
You surprising yourself, man. You surprising yourself.
Yeah. And then I went on and I started listening to Harvey Mason. And I started listening like I was Harvey Mason, his gentleness and his precision and his touch and his dynamics was like, I was
Mhm,
like, oh my God. I was like, he wasn't doing all that hard stuff and doing, but what he was doing
mhm.
was like, this so tasteful. And to this day, he's still, man, I listen to stuff he doing. I'm like, I would have never put that groove on this song. But
Right.
cause how did he think of putting that groove over? I'd have just been had a little backbeat going. That
Oh,
sound. I was like, it was crazy. And I used to play along with him with Chameleon. That I used to sit and do that. And then I got into Steve Gadd, and then
mhm.
I was in, I mean, just tons of drummers. Then I put on like Curtis Mayfield, and then I put on the Commodores and Confunction,
Man.
and I'd be into that funk. And then next thing Earth, Wind and Fire Live, the Gratitude album, I was playing that.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
I'd go
sir.
back and then I'd put on some I just straight ahead. Then I got the guys when I started playing out a little bit in Birmingham, they was like, "Oh, we're gonna do these tunes, these jazz straight ahead tunes." I'm like, "What? What? Okay, I heard that it's just ting ting da ding ting da ding ting, ding. And now they just like, okay, do this. They're the old cats, man. They would tell you, and then if you wasn't doing it right, like you sit there, you come over here and play.
Wow.
So I was
Yeah.
doing that, man, and I started doing it. I knew that I wasn't doing it right, and I knew I didn't have a feel. So it was a guy in Birmingham that played at the top of this hotel, and he was great at it. And I would just go up there and watch him, and I'd see, and I got the concept of how he was doing it. Not I didn't try to play like him, but I was like, oh, I see what he's doing with his left hand, and I'm hearing what he's doing when I hear the piano, he's comping stuff and accents with that, and he's the bass and that, and he's doing that thing. He's making it exciting when it needs to be. He's coming down. I saw his brush work, but I didn't take his brush where I just said, "Oh, he's doing," and I
Mhm.
doing this. I was like, okay. So I
Mhm.
mean, concept is all I do.
That's, I mean, wow. This is really, it's a masterclass on how you really learn to develop your own style, because that comes out a lot as people ask you or ask, how do you develop your own style? Well, you have to go and watch people play,
Hmm.
and you you know if you're fortunate enough, maybe you take a lesson, or but even before that, you just check out what they do and just listen to how they interpret whatever the music is that they're playing. And that's the, you know before, again, back when, you talk about the great jazz drummers from, Blakey and Elvin and
Yeah,
Monk, and all these cats used to live in, close proximity, man. Philly Joe, and
yeah. Tony
they would be at
Lee.
each other's house. They would just be shedding rudiments
Yeah,
together, and trading, sharing information, sharing ideas. But the thing was, man, going to seeing somebody play, I think that's such an unfortunate thing that the young cats really, they don't have that anymore.
right.
They can't, on a nightly basis, go and see uh you know Marcus on, on Monday night playing somewhere, and Lil John playing on Tuesday somewhere, and so on, and Chris playing on Wednesday somewhere, and Brian Andrews playing on Friday
Right,
somewhere.
right, right.
And because everybody would have a gig that they would do, especially during the weekday, so you knew where somebody was going to be, and and you would get off your gig and maybe go,
Go to see somebody else. Yeah,
and that was so inspirational, man. And I think that also was, uh and it inspired you to stay on top of what you wanted to do, and incorporate new stuff, man, because cats were pushing each other, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
And so that's one thing, man, that is definitely missing from today. And I hate that the young guys don't get a chance to do that anymore.
Well, some of these young guys, if they just go, like if they come check out your stuff to learn that straight ahead, learn stuff that listen to Jeff Watts and all of these guys, and but you just all of that stuff is connected. All of that
Definitely.
stuff is connected once you do, because you could take any hip hop song and go with
Yep.
got all
Yep.
that jazz stuff. You can play it right in there. All of the any look, it's you need to sample all kind of music and learn to play all kind of music. I used to, when I did this clinic at Berkeley, Wade John got me up there because he kept saying my name so much, and they was wondering where he was getting this stuff from. So, and they called me up there, and like I did like 3-day clinic up there, and those guys, man, I was telling them, you know, do practice on stuff, listen to all kinds of music. Be a drummer, not a jazz drummer, not a rock drummer, not a funk drummer, not a country drummer, a drummer.
Hmm.
Drummers can play anything like an all-terrain vehicle. You could do
Hmm.
a Range Rover. It's got style. It can go off-road. It can get crazy. It can be, it's luxury, but you got to know when to use that stuff. And it's like I've done all kind of jingles and stuff, rockabilly. I done rock. I mean, all kind. Just they'll you never Beatles kind of stuff. I mean, everything. They're symphony
Hmm.
stuff, and
Hmm.
you got to be able to do it. You will work more, and you'll be happier. It's like well, you don't want to eat the same food all your life, just the one same kind of meal.
Mhm.
You know, you get some Japanese stuff, some Chinese stuff, Italian, some, you know, you all of that stuff, those flavors, they build your character in your music.
Right.
And I've never I told my friend Quick one day, I said, you know what I just realized after all these years? I don't ever call anybody saying, hey man, you got a gig, you got somebody need a drummer this week. I've never done that.
Hmm.
Somebody's always calling me because they know whatever. I'm in rock band now. I'm playing with old Little Anthony and the Imperials. That's way back from the 50s and 60s. I got to go down and do some stuff with them next month. But I've been with him for like 8 years, 8 or 9 years, and playing with these old groups. And then I'm playing jazz and I'm playing fusion and funk and uh, you know, it's just getting into everything.
Right.
So I think it's good for you to know that, and it's amazing how you can add a different flavor to a different kind of music by because you say, oh, this kind of feels like that Jamaican kind of thing, but it could be a funk thing, and you put it on there, and it's like, wow, man,
Mhm.
that's nice.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, you made a comment to me one time about you you know, this might be something that you've told other people, but I can't remember if it was, you know, I was taking a lesson from you, or if we were just talking somewhere, but you said that you wanted to be able to hear anything over anything. And I remember us you saying that, man, and that was something that always stuck with me because I was like, man, how do you even possibly begin to do that? You know, and then over time I started to kind of understand it, especially with, you know, with straight ahead, because it can, if you're playing with the right guys, it can
right,
kind of go anywhere at any given time. It can pivot to anything. So you know, where you're superimposing uh you know, funk and jazz, or Caribbean and funk, or you know, you're kind of starting to kind of take one thing and blend it with something else, and
yeah,
you know, so then I began to understand what you were talking about. It's like, oh, okay, so you want to be able to hear, you know, but you have to listen to a lot of different styles of music in order to understand that concept.
right,
And that's what I always try to encourage, you know, my students or young musicians is don't just listen to, you know, okay, hip hop is cool, or but know the origins and get into listening to other stuff, because it's just going to open your mind up, you know.
right, right. Because a lot of that stuff, even that avant-garde jazz, you know, that stuff is like it ain't no. It just be bang
Right.
bang.
That's some of the hard, right.
You like what? But it's then they all of a sudden they hit boom, boom, boom together, and I'm like, whoa!
Right.
And then I will do that kind of stuff in my solos, and these mugs is trying to keep the bum, bum,
Right.
bum, bum. After a while, baby, bum, 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 bum. I was like, cause I'll do something that's just like it's not it's timeless. Like I just
Right.
start going like on that. I'll just go, but it's still going like this in my head, and then
Right.
boom.
Right.
Cause one thing I used to practice when I was doing this one thing, that concept that came to my mind when I was trying to do uh, Billy Cobham. I said one day, I said, okay, let me just keep a beat and know where the time is, and just for 2 bars or 4 bars of that, just go crazy and play just everything you want to do, but make sure you hit the one back. So I'd have a record playing. I'd have a record playing like an R&B record, whatever tempo, and then I just boom, and then I boom, and then you know that's what I would do. And I said, if I could just be the Tasmanian devil between them bars and come back in on the one, it's like exciting when everybody hits that one after all of that chaos.
Oh.
That one, and you go, whoa, he does know what he's doing.
And that's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you do.
Yep.
Oh man.
So it's like, wow, this is crazy.
Man.
And then through all your experience when you're doing that stuff, experimenting, it's certain things you'll do and you keep those things. They become part of just your stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you might just be acting a fool, and then all of a sudden you do something, you're like, oh, okay, this is good. And it adds into your whole thing.
Right. But you gotta You gotta take chances, right?
Yes.
You gotta take chances, and hey, you have to just go for it, and hopefully you're with the right people.
Right. Yeah, you got to be with the right people. Keep in mind who you're playing with and how far to go. But on your own time, get on, put you a click on, or you got there in your phones and everything. You just, or a song, and try that at all different kind of tempos, though. Slow,
right,
fast, medium tempo, and then try it a lot. See, my whole concept of thing too. My whole thing is everything I learn it soft to loud, and slow to fast.
Right.
So if you can do it soft, and you can do it loud, and you can do it slow and fast, you got it all covered.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody, no matter what tempo they give you, you like, oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Just approximate. You might not remember this, but how many hours would you say you would sit there in a given day and just practice? Just back in the day.
When I would practice maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I only practiced when I felt like practicing. I didn't make myself go down there. I'd be out playing basketball and go, I'm going home. I got to practice. I feel like practicing. And I go in there and just practice and go hard and do a thing. Put on the slow songs. That's one thing a lot of people don't do. Bet you like Hollywood.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. And nobody practices. I would put on a slow song and just
because
pop, boom, boom, boom.
You know how hard that's hard because it's hard.
Right. But if you got that whole soft to loud, fast, slow to fast thing together, you can make that groove feel good. Sometimes I just sit on the side on the drums and just go. You can hear that groove. And that's with dynamic. You got to you know, all instead of you gotta hit that's music. If you can't groove to that with a drum set, if you can't make yourself go, ooh, this feels good. And doing the dynamics that's slow, just that soft thing, and then build it up just like you in the groove, bring it up high.
Man.
That's how you make yourself become what you really want to become. It's in you what you want to be. You feel it. Mm-hmm. You gotta, like, I was looking at a thing with Miles Davis. He said, you gotta cut off everything. You gotta get into yourself. Because they were asking him, how do you make this kind of music that it's like so-and-so and you so-and-so? He said, you gotta stop listening to everybody else's stuff and figure out what's in you, how you want to do things.
Right.
That's it.
Man.
And I come to see you and I'm like, okay, I see what he's doing over there.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Whatever.
Yeah, man. I was like, okay, all right, I see it. But you know what? I told another guy, I said, man, you can learn something from every drummer out there. I've learned stuff from drummers that cannot hardly play, but
Mm,
I hear what they tried to do.
mm,
And I said, oh, he didn't do it, but I know I could hear what he tried to do.
wow. Yeah.
I learned from drummers that's really good, but doesn't have any discipline. And I learned what not
Right.
from them.
Right.
And then I learned what and what not to do because my mother was around all of these big artists. And so I was a kid and they would always talk about who was doing what in the band and what they didn't do. Why was he playing like that? And he's just too loud and he don't
Damn.
come down when he's supposed to. He ain't learning the tunes right. He don't. And I'll be like, okay, I'm taking this in.
Taking it in.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So
Yeah. 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 Well, let's shift to your iconic mother, man, and let's talk about the great Candy Staten, man, and you know what it was like growing up with a famous um, parent and all the people coming in the house that you would have, you having a chance to meet and see and hear these conversations and talking about this cat can't play and I don't want to play with him. And I can only imagine
right,
the
right,
probably the famous names that you could probably talk about that, uh, you know, she didn't want to play or she can't stand or whatever. I'm half joking there,
right, right.
uh,
Yeah,
let's talk about your mom, man, Candy Staten, and just uh, some of give us a little bit of history on her.
yeah, mom. Coming up when she had out the hits and all of that stuff and doing all of this, uh, it was just mama, just like everybody else's mama. Like, it was just like I would get a whooping or get on get on punishment and can't do this and mad and all of this other stuff. But but on the other side of that, it was people that I knew that you know she was all over the radio and people they would come to me. How does it feel to be just like, well, that's just my mother, and but she's come a long way, man. She I saw her go through so much musically, and even back in the probably late early mid '90s, I started. Uh, she changed over from R&B to gospel and stuff. Well, she did it before that. I think it was like and then probably somewhere close to the mid late '80s. She did middle '80s. She started doing Christian music, and so she stopped touring and doing all her stuff. So um, she um, she had put out about 5 or 6, 7 albums doing that stuff, and then but no, she wasn't making the kind of money that she was used to making with other stuff, and it was hard for Christian folks to accept her into that. You've been doing all this R&B, now you want to come over here, and I'm like,
Mm,
well, that's what y'all supposed to welcome folks that's been doing all of that stuff and then coming over, you know, to be with the Lord. And but a lot of mugs just like Stephanie Mills just said, I ain't. She did gospel. And she's like, I'm not going back over there because them people. She said they treated me like I was something ugly. But
wow. Mm,
so one time they were out of budgets and stuff, and we need to get a record out. And I had those ADATs had just come out, and I had me a little setup in the house, and I was like, "Mom, I can do your record." She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I got this and this," and so I was like, "I can do your record." And she said, "Okay." I said, "It ain't gonna cost you nothing. You just pay for the background vocals or whatever, and we'll just." And we did it, and it came out, and that record still sells today. And so I've done about 19 of her albums, produced about 19 of her albums, through the years. And that's how I got into doing this engineering stuff.
okay. Mm.
trying to write for SOS Band when they were working on the album, and I was bringing Groove Me, Chandra Corelli, and Kurt Mitchell, all of us doing stuff and bringing songs, and uh, and then I just got into it there, uh, engineering, and because I started loving it, I was like, hey, this is cool. And well, another thing, I couldn't get people to make the drums sound like I like them to sound.
I know that's right.
This I'm gonna do it myself. Forget it. And yeah, so I did all of that. So Mama came up through that and got on TV shows, and then she went back into doing some R&B too, because the music, what she was saying is not evil. It's about love and relationships and stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
uh, and that's what I was telling her. I was like, what? She was trying to do that traditional kind of gospel music. I was like, nobody knows you for that. You can't. You out of your. You out of. You not do. You do what you do. Don't, no matter what. She was getting funky before Kirk Franklin and them got
Right.
funky, and
Right.
they were on her about, because we had this disco groove going, going on, and it was, and everybody just now gospel is full of everything you can think of, the kind of music. She helped get Kirk Franklin and a whole lot of people on TBN, on her TV shows, and because she was the only black female on there back in those days, and they started getting on there, and now it was flooded with folks. But and it went from that through. She had cancer, and she beat that, and was still at. She's 84. She'll be 85 in a couple of months, and she's in London right now getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. I started going over there with her about 10 or 15 years ago when I could,
Hmm.
and for her over there in all through London. And we just kind of became a team over in London and overseas. And like her son on drums, and she would give me all these drum solos, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is brilliant! It's like, so it's like a team, I love it, man. But people used to come to the house. Luther Vandross, Al Green, Lionel Richie, all of these folks. She's friends with all these folks. Chaka Khan, I mean, but that was no big deal to me. She'd
Right.
always get backstage passes to whatever show coming. We'd be back there with Ray Charles and all of these folks, man, and it was wonderful. It's still wonderful, and uh, I, I just spend most of my time doing that and doing playing with other artists when between
Yeah.
those times, and
Yeah.
all of this stuff. You got into this studio stuff, and
Yeah.
now I'm
Yeah.
trying to make my own thing, my own kind of music, so I can do something.
Well, do you think that's part of the reason why nothing really phases you, man? You've already, when you were this high, you had already met, you naming all these people, Luther and Shaka and, Al Green. And it's like, you've already, these people are just family friends.
Yeah,
And so you're not really going to be phased by too much that comes your way because you've already met all these icons,
yeah, yeah,
and so you get, I mean, you got nothing to prove, and ain't nobody, it's like, I think that's part of your even keel, man, is, you've been around it for so long,
yeah. And I saw the real people, not the
right.
one smiling and doing interviews and doing the concert. I heard the real stories of what's going on with them, Bobby Womack, and I mean, just the real people. And
Unbelievable,
when they get together and they talk, they be like, "How you been doing?" "Oh, this crazy and shit, this so blah blah blah," and yeah, I understand. Well, blah, it's just the real thing. So they just like us, when we get
right,
together and we talk, we real.
right,
We're not putting on nothing for the cameras. We just be
yeah,
real and talk.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the way they were to me.
yeah, Oh,
I had to pop in.
Cat's popping up.
Popped on in.
Come on, bro.
Cat's popping up, bruh. Cat's popping up.
I'm telling you, what's up, man?
What's up, Marcus? I had to pop in.
I
man.
knew he was gonna pop. I knew he was gonna pop. I ain't heard from him all day, man. I called him early. Man, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you back, man. I'm gonna call you back.
I saw Marcus up there. I was like, oh, I gotta pop in for this.
How you doing?
How you doing? Chris, this cat got so many things in the vault, bro. If you ever go to his house, he gonna play you 50 million songs, bro, that he's produced. All of them killing. I was like, Marcus, when you gonna release this? I don't know, man. I have something for you to play on. I'm like, you're gonna play me another 50 songs.
Right.
Is there a more laid back cat than Marcus, bruh? Like, there's nothing that I've ever seen him like. Everything is just the same, man. No matter how incredible killing, whatever he's got, like, yeah, man, it's just what happens,
Right.
Hey, Marcus.
I mean, that's the best way to be, man. You know, I ain't in for no pressure. I like to laugh. I like to have a good time, eat. I like to do it all. So things that, like, we'll be on gigs. We've done gigs. Everybody have done gigs, and you get there and nothing is working right. You're supposed to be in there, and you get there when you're supposed to do sound check. They ain't even finished setting up. It's 3 hours later, and then you trying to go, but your show started in a half an hour. And then you just like, and the drums, I just like, I don't care, whatever. If I had some boxes, I would play the show on some boxes and have a ball. And that's it. And go home and have another ball. So that's it. It's just nothing.
Marcus, can I ask 2 questions? I'm gonna get off because I got a lot of feedback from these drummers talking about, man, it's supposed to be a drummer show. But
yeah, man, it's already in the comments. A comment, man. What I thought this was a drummer show, man.
I got it, bro. I gotta ask you 2 questions. two questions, bro, and both of them has something to do with a George Duke show. So the first question.
I already know where this is going.
First one is my show, but then you had a George Duke, Billy Cobham show that you did. So first, can you tell me what happened on my show, and then something odd happened on your show too when we did the Billy Cobham George Duke show. So I'm gonna let you have it. Go ahead, Brett. What happened?
So we're playing, we're doing his show, and we're supposed to play this song. So it started off like Billy Cobham.
But was it Stratus? What two was it? Was it Stratus?
Yeah, I think it was, boy. And you know how the Stratus is. Well, I started my life. I was like, and I did all this stuff like it was flying, boy. It was flying. And everybody looked at me like I had just ran a semi truck through the club.
Marcus is like, excuse me, and the bass player Myron was like, Myron was like, nah, you can have it. Bro, I'm on the guitar, bro, getting ready to play. I was like, nah, let's just phase this bad boy.
We brought it on down. We kind of pulled it on back and pulled it on back to get on in there. Yeah, that was crazy. And then we was playing Stratus. Was it Stratus too?
We played all those songs, but
when the power went off, we knocked the power out. Right at the end of the song. It was crazy. It was like, well, that is Stratus.
Oh. Marcus took a killer solo at the hit the bass drum like 25 times. It went, boom!
Everything went out.
Marcus like, yeah, we didn't shut the place down.
Shut it down.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking like it was a special effect that we did, like we playing that Joker,
Right.
But it was a great show though. It was killing.
Yeah, it was. We had a good time. We had a good time out there. And that was when that was man, that was my before I got my hip replacement. Boy, my hip was killing me that night. So, but that's a lot of things that I remember about that, man. I was, and I was just, oh, this is crazy. But yeah, that was a good show. We had a good time.
It's such a pleasure to play with you. Your humility is like just on another level. All the stuff that you've done, all the people you play with. I gotta admit though, I get mad at Mose Davis, man, because when I used to sub for him, Mose would say, "Yeah, man, we got the usual cats on the man." Yeah, Gary Marcus coming. Yeah, man. So I get on the gig. None of those cats there. I was like, what happened to Marcus? Like,
Mose get you, man. He get you.
Well, I had to take those cats with me.
Yeah.
Like every time I think I'm gonna play with Marcus, I know. So it's an incredible pleasure and honor to play with you and be around you, man. And you are just like the cats. You're the cat's cat, bro. So
yeah, man.
I'm a hang out and listen to y'all cats, man. But appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you too, man. I still got to get on the song, man. You got to get on the song.
Which ones, bro?
Well, we just got to pick one. You just got to come through and we just see which one you feel.
You got a lot of stuff in the vault that's killing, man. You need to release it, bro.
Yeah, I got a new release coming out, but I've written like 12 more in the last. Dude,
you remind me of somebody else I know. I'm gonna point this way. This
might be a drummer thing. Might be a drummer thing.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is with drummers. Maybe y'all perfectionists or something. I don't know, bro.
I don't know. We just go to the next thing. We just get something and be excited about it, then all of a sudden push that to the side. I got another idea.
To the next thing, man.
Like, another idea. But even wonder, let me go back to this one. Oh no, I got another idea now.
And let them go, bro. Let them go, both of y'all. But anyway, man, good to see y'all, bro.
Hey, Tyrone, keep it robust, bro. Keep it robust. All right, man. I see. All right, bro. Let's see. Hey, man, I'm glad he popped in. Man, I've heard that story so many times, man. The Stratus story.
Well, I was in the Stratus, boy.
So you said you had a hip replacement? I'm sorry.
Yeah. About a year and 2 months ago. Yeah, but I'm good now.
You good now?
Okay. Yeah, I'm good. I should have had it done a long time ago. But I just sit around and think it didn't get no better.
Right.
So, but I went on and did it, man. It was cool. So
it's a lot. The process is much. The modern process is not like the old one. From what you hear, it's super easy.
So, it is really cool, man. The doctor told me that my hip it can be around for 100 years. I said, well, it's gonna outlast me. Hell, I'm 63. The 62 and the 63. It's like, oh yeah, it'll be around way longer than me. Y'all can resell it when I go.
Well, listen, man, we're gonna wrap it up, man. I want to talk to you about one more thing that's close to my heart, close to your heart, close to a lot of people's hearts. Cat that touched the world, and that's the late great John Blackwell. And just want to talk to you a little bit about John. I saw John the first time I met him at Catfish Station, man. This is 96, maybe 90, something like that. And he was coming in he was driving in, man. I want to say from Birmingham. If I'm correct.
Columbia,
South Carolina. From Columbia, South Carolina. There you go. And because he would come up and he would study with you, and then I guess he would do, just do little gigs, man, around but I remember he was still in school, I think at the time, Marcus. I think he was still at Berkeley at this time. And but of course he went on to do great things with Prince and Patti LaBelle and but Cameo start. I mean, that was his. Was that like his? I think that was his first hit. Was with Cameo, right? When
but that's what tripped me out, because John was just in the Philly Joe Jones and all the straight ahead stuff. I'm showing him stuff basically I was showing him licks and stuff. But then next day I'm like, John got the gig with Cameo. Like, I was trying to put it together. And he was a big fan of Neil Peart too.
Mm-hmm.
Like Neil Peart. And then I
Mm-hmm.
would be Neil Peart, that Neil Peart can do this. I was like, yeah, Neil is all right. I like Neil. But I said, have you ever heard of this group called Emerson, Lake and Palmer?
Wow, check that out. Yeah.
I said, go get this album. And I told him the album. And he went and got it and he called me. Oh my God. I said, it's a song called Tarkus. Listen to Tarkus.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I said, that dude. And he went on this thing, man. He would call me at collect at 3 o'clock in the morning. You remember collect calls when there wasn't no cell phone. And my wife at the time, she was like, hang up. So I'd accept the call, collect, get out the bed, and because he'd be like, what you doing? I'm asleep. Like, okay, that thing you be doing with your left hand and your foot. What? Man. You know, I'd get out the bed, go in the living room, and sit down and talk to that boy for about an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh.
And he was so obsessed with drums and playing and so he'd come over when he's in town. You got to show me something. I said, okay, I'm gonna show you this. And I'd show him this stuff. And I said, now, don't come back until you can get it like I would show him something and then I'd demonstrate how fast you need to have it.
Mm-hmm.
You get it to this level.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you until you can do a single stroke like instead and do it soft. And if you notice a lot of his solos, he would come up and down on his stuff. And I would give him to them. Then he'd come back all cocky. Oh Lord, I got you. I got that thing. You watch this. And I was like, watch this. I got it. And he started doing something. I was like, that's one of the ones I said, no, that ain't what I showed you, but keep that. I said, keep it. I said, now I'm gonna show you what I showed you again. And then I showed him again and what he was like, what? I said, but keep what you just played. Keep it. Now do this. Now think like this and do this and so. And he would just be so excited. Drums. I was like, and when he told me, he said he used to go by the music store in Berkeley at Berkeley, and he just open the door and say, Marcus Williams, and run. What the heck? I said, John. He said, because everybody was on me because I say your name all the time. And I just say, Marcus Williams. And so when he got me up there, man, that's how I got the Sabian endorsement and stuff. When I was up there, he invited Bill Zildjian, was over Sabian at the time, and did this thing. And John, man, I miss him so much. It's incredible just the love of music that he had, and that he still. I listened to the stuff that he did. We did a Gia concert up in Berkeley for his daughter that drowned, with Dennis Chambers and Terry Lynn and Vinnie Collier. All of us was on stage together, man. It was so nice, people coming together to do that. My mother sang too at that show. She sang, but John, man, even to up near to when he was really sick after he came back from Japan, he had the tumor. He was sitting in I went to see him in Florida, and at his apartment, he I want you to sit down and play something. I just want you to sit and play something. Play something. I was like, come on, John, you in an apartment. There's a condo on the lake.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I want you to play something for me. Show me something. He just the love he's had to the end of it all, man. It's incredible, and that's why he became as good as he was. You know, he lived every minute of it. I don't really talk about drums much now in my old time, but you know, I got past, but he never lost that.
Right.
And when you keep that kind of passion for an instrument, I can just imagine what he'd be doing today.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
and my big joke about it though, he used to say my name so much. I said, I just hope he ain't up in heaven telling Jesus, you need to get Marcus Williams up here.
Not yet. Nah, not yet. We're not ready yet. Not ready for that. Not ready for that.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it has been an absolute pleasure. You know, there's so many other things that we could get in. We never even talked about, you know, your magazine that you you know, but I got some drum stuff coming up, man. So I'm some drum content that I want to, just like what we're doing here, that I want to do, and I got a lot of other cats in mind too, where it's just going to be strictly drum and really old. We just going old school drumming. No, you know, I mean, we love all the new cats and all that stuff too, but breaking down a lot of history,
right?
And just really where we come from, man, as you know, drummers really from the that are really born out of the playing from the 70s, you know, and the 60s and 70s and the 80s and talk. So I got some stuff, man, I'm gonna talk to you about, man. I'd love for you to be a part of it, man. You're
definitely anything, man. Anything.
Beautiful, man. Just incredible, man. So thank you for your time, man. We gotta I'll call you, man. I'm coming over, man, because
okay.
You shoot, you damn near right around the corner. So
yeah.
So we're gonna do some hanging, man, and you know, and just chop it up and talk about some other stuff. But thank you, man, for joining us, man.
Anytime, man. You know, we could talk for weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like we could talk.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, brother. But I tell you, yeah, you drummers out there, and drummers control the whole atmosphere of a band,
right?
And you have to learn that control. And when you do, you will see a difference in the way people treat you and look at you.
Absolutely.
They will look at you like, you don't want them to be like, well, you think you'd be all right for it? No, you want them to be like, call him up. He can do this, and he'll do it just like it's supposed to be done.
Right.
And the last thing I got to do, when if you all go to any kind of audition for a gig or a tour, just learn the record first, just like the record is. And when they ask you to do something more, you do some more. Don't come in trying to be the world's greatest this or that. It does not matter. Just do what the record did. And then, like, if you oversalt your food, you can't take the salt out.
Right.
So don't oversalt your food with your playing. Put the groove, make it feel like it's supposed to. Let the artist tell you if they want more. And then when you do, and you give them more, they'll be like, oh my God. It works. Just a little something from the old dude.
Make them want more. Make them ask for more.
Right. But they're going to be happy just letting it, making it feel good.
Right. Well, we'll talk about that, man. Like I said, I got a lot of some things that you're the perfect you're the perfect spokesman for a lot of the things that because sometimes, man, you know, as you get older, I know what it's like, because we didn't want to hear. Well, we were always, it seemed like we had our ear to the older guys, right? The older guys, whatever, you know, we wanted to hear what they would say, but sometimes they would get on our last nerve too, you know, like, because they was always telling us what, you know, it seemed like somebody's always telling you what to do, or, you know, but So there's a balance there that you kind of have to learn how to tip. But I wouldn't trade. I mean, some of the lessons that I mean, they're not fun lessons, right?
No, no, they're not.
It's not
But
fun,
yeah, I never hung out with young drummers when I was 16, 17.
man.
I hung out with the old guys.
I mean, it's not a safe zone. What they call the safe zone now.
Right.
How you
If
no.
you ain't playing it right, they're gonna be like, they're gonna be on you. And they're like, let me tell you what George Howard told me one time. He said, Marcus, you need to learn the melody.
Yes.
You need to learn the melody. And then I said,
Wow.
I sit and thought about it, and I know I got what he's talking about. And it all stuff came together for me after that. I was like, wow, never thought about that. Everybody got something to offer, and you got to listen to them. Don't think you just, I know the beat and nope.
I always, man, if I can't hear the melody of a tune, especially if in straight ahead, if I don't know the melody, man,
Yeah.
it drives me crazy. Number one, but because I'm not quite sure how to play the form. You can play the
Right.
form, but the melody tells you everything you need to know about how you're supposed to be phrasing through the form. So,
Right. Yep.
and then if you're trying to solo, especially that's one thing, man. If I don't know the melody of a tune, I really can't solo because I follow the melody so much, or I try to follow the melody so much when I play. It's just a natural crutch. It's like
Right.
that, and you can just play off of that. But so that's it, man. Okay, I'm gonna call you tomorrow, man, and
Okay.
we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about hooking up on a couple of things. I'm gonna let you go, and we'll talk soon. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, brother. See you later, Marcus.
All right, now.
Been a pleasure, man.
Care.
All right, man. Okay,
All
later. Wow, legend, icon, and just overall great dude. I mean, oh boy, that really touched my heart because I've known Marcus a long time, looked up to him a long time, and he's one of those cats that's just always there for you. There's certain people that are cool and everybody's busy and everybody's got stuff to do, but that cat, I can call him. He always answers the phone. Don't text him because he don't do the text. I was trying to text him, man, like nothing. I was like, oh, okay. Minute I mean, the phone half rang. He picked it up. What's up, Chris? And so just one of the great dudes, man. In the industry and a wealth of knowledge, and you're gonna be seeing him a lot more, man. I got some great ideas to partner up with him. So, but thank you to my brother Tyrone Jackson for popping in and giving us a nice little story of the hitting the fast forward button on the gig on Stratus. And thanks for everybody else, man, hanging out. John Roberts, what's going on, man? I haven't seen John in a minute. We used to play together way back in the 90s when I couldn't play nothing, man. We used to play with Adrian Fish together. We got to get John on to talk about some of the stuff he's doing. Brian Andrews, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Got some drum stuff coming up, man. I'm gonna be in touch with some drum content, some stuff I want to do. Bobby Skeet Henderson, what's going on, man? Thank you for coming through. Lamatina, you're always there, man. Great cat. Brad, was Brad in first tonight? Brad, I don't think so. He might have been. Was he in first? Okay. So Brad, he claimed his number one role again of getting into the stream first. Dan Coy, what's going on? Haven't seen Dan in a minute. Russ Rogers. Man, a lot of cats coming through tonight. John Beal, what's up, man? Cherie, Marie, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Don't know you, but thank you for coming through and blessing the stream. Podhorser. And anybody else that's sometimes I can't see. You know what I've noticed is that this is still a learning this platform, because sometimes you can't see all the comments. It'll go to different people's stream. So whoever's connected to the stream, sometimes it's like, I don't know what's up with that, but that's just kind of weird. So sometimes I don't see all the comments, but try to get to all of them, and really appreciate everybody's support. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please go and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Set your notification bell so you know where we when we go live with shows. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We got to put some new content up on there and do some cut ups of. Had a great show last night with Joe Granston. Plenty of stuff to cut up there. Some really, really funny moments, and tonight as well, of course. And we will be on next week, next Tuesday, for another Chop It Up Tuesday, 9 p.m. Thank you to the man behind the scenes, Brian Falgu, who's bringing up all the photos and the comments and all that stuff, man. So shout out to my man, and hope you guys stay safe. I think a lot of it's melted now, but black ice is no joke. So just be careful and drive slow. And we will see you guys on Tuesday. Come hang out with us in the chat. All right, everybody have a great night. See you soon. Peace.